Now build defenses around the power collector, because enemies will attack it when you activate it. Atlas activated. Now defend the Atlas until the gate has been closed.
Assassin.
Bye-bye.
Breacher. Gunner.
Man, that was embarrassing.
Maverick. Skirmisher.
Bottoms up. You want some more, asshole?
Kronos. Titan.
그 옛날 악마를 몰아냈던 힘, 아크처럼 말이지.
아크를 찾는다고? 그런 걸 믿다니. 전쟁이 끝나고 아무도 본 적이 없다고. 아마 음유 시인들이 지어낸 전설일 겁니다.
아크, 사람들은 모두 그 존재를 잊어버렸는데 이 요정의 숲에 사는 아이들도, 기계국가를 건설한 공학자들도, 풍류의 정원으로 떠난 신선들도, 영광의 시대를 열었던 기사들마저도 아크를 잊어버렸죠. 하지만 그들은 한순간도 잊지 않았어요.
어디에 있나?
전쟁이 시작됩니다. 어서 빨리 아크를 찾아야 해요.
로스트아크의 세계에 오신 걸 환영합니다. 로스트아크에서 여러분들은 카제로스의 악마 군단에 맞서 세계를 지켜내는 영웅이 될 것입니다. 이제부터 그 영웅들을 소개해드리겠습니다. 첫 번째로 소개시켜드릴 클래스는 배틀마스터입니다. 배틀마스터는 빠른 연속 공격을 통해 적들을 제압하는 클래스입니다. 특히 화려한 공중 콤보가 일품이죠. 또한 엘리멘탈 게이지를 모았다면 속성 공격으로 적들을 화끈하게 쓸어버릴 수 있습니다. 데빌 헌터는 세 가지 스탠스를 교체해가며 운영하는 클래스입니다. 빠르게 접근해오는 적들은 더블 핸드건으로.
Down to the campaign map now, and this turn our armies are on immediate recall to home territory. Thorgrim here was making his way happily towards Blackfire Pass in order to help Zufbar against its vampiric problems. And in charge of policing Death Pass is an army led by Zamnil Matakwaz, which is obviously the best dwarf name ever. However, Grimgor Ironhide has just popped up from the Dwarfen underway with a 16-strong stack of green-skinned filthmongers to threaten our home settlements on the Silver Road, so we've got our armies beating a rather panicked retreat towards him. Now here is the jewel in the High King's crown, mighty Karaz Akarak itself. Also known as Everpeak, this glittering city with its rich gemstone mines stands testament to Dwarfen engineering might and marks the stout heart of our growing kingdom. We've been focusing on its civic development, and one result of this is a very tough garrison consisting of grudge throwers, quarrelers, thunderers, and a wall of elite defenders in the shape of longbeards and hammerers. Now, with the whole of the province under our control, we can enact commandments over it, and we're currently empowering the guilds to aid population growth and buff our trade income. Diving into the dwarf tech tree now, you can see how we're looking to dovetail that particular growth improvement with this particular technology, the autonomy of the holds. Now this will supercharge the commandment we've issued and help us to expand our settlements much more swiftly. Now the dwarf tech tree differs to those of the other races in that it follows two core disciplines. The way of the guilds brings improvements to civic matters such as growth, income, diplomacy, and the reduction of vampiric and chaos corruption. The way of the clans branch is devoted entirely to the improvement of various dwarfen battlefield units. As you can see here, we're trying to balance our research across both trees as we go, so our provincial development keeps pace with our increasing military might. Looking at the building browser for Karaz Akarak now, and we can see how certain high-tier building chains can only be constructed in higher-level settlements. So we're going to have to upgrade Karaz Akarak another 2 tiers to build, say, the Rune Forge or the Throne Hall of the High King. We've also implemented a neat hint system in the buildings UI to mark out any prerequisites you'll need in order to recruit certain units. So if we want to recruit flame-spewing Iron Drakes or arm them with mighty Trollhammer torpedoes, you can see that a marker indicating that buildings in the engineer chain will be required. Okay then, let's end the turn as our armies are all out of action points for now.
Epic battles in deep space, or inside the atmosphere of planets to earn fame, glory, and your own fleet of ships. In order to be an effective commander, you need to know the fleet inside and out. It's not enough to know your favorite class. You've got to know your enemy and know which ship will be the most effective in burning them to the ground. Artillery cruisers do their best work at extreme range, delivering deadly salvos from heavy weapon batteries. Think of the artillery cruiser as a sniper. The ship is big guns, strapped onto a quick engine, with almost no heavy armor, making it one of the most vulnerable flyers in the fleet. The artillery cruiser does its best work lurking in the outskirts of battle, spotting targets for teammates and taking out enemy vessels from afar. Bulky dreadnoughts are plumb targets for artillery cruisers. Lining up the perfect shot can be tricky, especially when quick ships like the Corvette manage to get too close for comfort. The Corvette is the smallest, most maneuverable ship in your arsenal. Dual front-mounted heavy autocannons and the Blink warp drive allow Corvette captains to make deadly, surgical, hit-and-run strikes and wreak havoc on the enemy. Corvettes are scouts, running recon and delivering quick strikes. High speed and the warp jump ability make them perfect for hunting down pesky artillery cruisers. But Corvettes may fall prey to the massive firepower of the destroyer if they aren't careful. Destroyer-class ships hit the sweet spot between the massive dreadnought and the agile Corvette. This all-around attack ship is loaded with firepower, making it the ultimate medium-range hunter. At range, destroyers should stay clear of the artillery cruiser's line of sight. A direct hit can prove devastating. In close-quarter battles, destroyers are tough enough to handle their share of fire. Their role is to dart in and cut up the support craft, like the tactical cruiser, leaving larger, more dangerous ships without defenses. Tactical cruisers play a vital support role. They can provide on-the-spot repairs, even to themselves. And when they're caught in a corner or on the offensive, they are more than capable of causing some damage, especially against wily corvettes. As a mobile repair vessel, the tactical cruiser is the key to the survival of the fleet and is often seen in close proximity to other friendlies. Enemy destroyers will seek to cut the tactical cruiser's lifeline. Cruiser captains should wait for a destroyer escort before moving in to support a dreadnought. Which brings us to our final ship, the Dreadnought. It's built for survivability and for causing massive damage. It's all over when one of these maneuvers alongside an enemy and delivers a broadside. The Dreadnought is the heaviest.
What you're seeing here is the Divinity Original Sin 2 prototype, built on top of the Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition engine. It's still very much work in progress and lots of things will change, but it's already sufficient to demonstrate a couple of the key things that we're building the game around. The party consists of a wood elf, 2 humans and an imperial dwarf. We are escaped sorcerers, users of a forbidden form of magic, and we're on the run from divine magisters. We're looking for help to travel to the mainland and are trying to enter a village where we'll hope we'll be able to get a ride on a dragon. Getting into the village, however, turns out to be problematic because of some local unrest with the dwarves. My main character hails from this town and is recognized by the guard. This facilitates things for her and she easily gains entry. However, the rest of the party is not allowed in. While the thief and elf eventually convince the guard via individual persuasion events, the dwarf fails and has to find another way in. Like this, pretty much every dialogue that you'll encounter will run differently, depending on who is doing the talking. And it reinforces how who you are, what you are, and where you come from affects your options in life. So all of this results in a lot of gameplay, because you're continuously trying to figure out which party member to use to talk to an NPC. Now the interesting thing is that in this example, the dwarf and thief are being controlled not by me, but by Thomas. And it so happens to be that Thomas wants to help the dwarves in this village, whereas I'm determined to demonstrate that dwarves should know their place. While eventually fate may bring us together again, for the moment we're working on the conflicting sides of the narrative. And we're trying to use the advantages of our origin stories, as well as our skills, abilities and talents to try to get the upper hand. So the story that we've made for Divinity Original Sin 2 makes all of these things possible. And mixed with all the RPG systems that we have, it really makes for a lot of fun. So here you see me mixing a red coloring herb with a poison potion, and this is me putting it in Thomas's backpack. So when he's going to drink it, he's going to have a little bit of a surprise. Now here you see me telling the guards that Thomas is a criminal and that he is smuggling contraband, which happens to be the case. So the guards are going to ask to investigate his inventory, and they're going to fall on the contraband, and they're going to take Thomas to jail. And here you see me backstabbing him. Thomas has just finished an epic fight and he's very weak, and so that's a perfect opportunity for me to say to Thomas, Thomas, I don't like you anymore. So obviously all of this is great in multiplayer, but it also makes for a much stronger single-player experience. Allowing for both cooperative and competitive narrative gameplay forces us as developers to implement plenty of options, and in single player that means that there's a great many choices to make. That's a lot of role-playing right there, and our ambition is to go very far with it. But obviously that's not our only ambition. Divinity Original Sin's combat system was one of the highlights of the game, and development in Divinity Original Sin 2 will be focused on maintaining the same feel while expanding on the things that you can do and the challenges you'll be encountering. We're going to try to bring you more skills, talents, abilities as spells, as well as a long list of new creatures and enemies that will offer you plenty of tactical challenges. And that's not all.
Стрёмное местечко.
Тут 200-й.
Глянь, что у него.
I see the enemy.
One down.
Падла!
Keep covering assistance.
Чё, патроны кончились? Держи, сука, подарок! Oh, shit!
Goddamn police! Let us pass and you'll be...
Хлебало, завали свою! Чё, припухли, туристы?
Son of a...
Фу, ну жопа.
Locked. Forward proximity alert. Shields charging. Shields. Forward hit. Aft hit. Starboard hit. Locked. Target destroyed. Bogey. Shields full. Warning. Systems overheating. Shields charging. Scanning. Bogey.